Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, How You Figure. I'm Justin, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you 5 horror 6-scale figures that I think you should be paying attention to and potentially adding to your pre-order list. Let's get into it. So even though a lot of the 6-scale community, other YouTubers, people that are in the space talk about these figures a lot, maybe you're someone who clicked on searching on YouTube right now saying like, man, I'm just getting into 6-scale collecting. Is there any horror figures out there that are available or at least available to pre-order? Maybe you've already missed out on a few horror figures you want and they're waitlisted or they're going for a big price on eBay. And you're thinking, what are some ones that are coming up? These are 5 figures that you can pre-order right now, but we're going to jump right into this video. And if you're enjoying this type of content, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. So let's jump right into our first figure. Here we go. All right, so the first one I want to talk about is the one that's just most recently been announced by Sideshow, and that is the Tim Curry Pennywise from It the movie, the 90s version. I think that this is one that's already been talked about a lot. Just my quick thoughts on it. I think this figure looks absolutely fantastic just based on these prototype images. I mean, it looks extremely creepy. The Tim Curry likeness is there. This looks like a great figure. This looks incredible right here, just the balloon accessories. And I mean, that just looks so good. And I haven't even gotten to like the scary faces or whatever, but just while I kind of keep scrolling through the pictures, I think that this is one that, again, you definitely want to give Sideshow a shot on one of these. We're going to get into a couple of other Sideshow figures that are on this list later on in the video here, but this is one that I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention once again. I think this is really fresh on everybody's minds because it just got released, but I think that this is still one that you really need to look into pre-ordering. I could totally see this one being, years down the line, like a very coveted piece in people's horror collection, and I just think it's one that you want. If you're interested in this character, you have a horror shelf, or you have or you love this movie, I think there's a bunch of different reasons to pick this up. Maybe you just have a big Tim Curry collection. Maybe you have a horror shelf. Maybe you really love the movie It and you want to put this next to the Skarsgård It. All those are incredible options, but this figure looks phenomenal, and hopefully it comes out as good as it looks. So definitely keep an eye on that one. We also are going to kick it over to Beetlejuice, which is another Sideshow. Again, you can pre-order all these figures right now. You can pre-order. I just want to remind you, you can pre-order this not only at Sideshow, but other places as well. But these figures right here, again, I just think that this looks really good. Now, Sideshow is putting these in the $280 to $290 range. So that's a little bit of a concern for people because a lot of people think that Sideshow hasn't put out figures that are warranted for that price yet. A lot of people say the horror figures that they bring out are a lot better than some of those Star Wars figures that Sideshow brought out. Again, I think you need to take a chance with one of them if you're a real big horror fan and you want to get one of these on your shelf. And if you're happy with the quality, then that'll give you your answer right there. Always do your research before buying a figure, especially ones at this price point. But this figure looks phenomenal. Again, another one that I think is really fresh on people's minds because it was announced not too long ago. But just in case you haven't heard, this is Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice here. We have a Beetlejuice sequel coming out at the end of the year this year. I think that Beetlejuice is going to be fresh on everybody's minds come Halloween season. I think it's going to be a big costume again this year. I just think Beetlejuice is getting back. It's never left because it's an iconic character. It's a classic film. But I feel like with the sequel coming out, with the Wednesday show, again, the same actress, Jenna Ortega, is going to be in Beetlejuice. So there's that return to that type of stuff, right? And people want to see that type of stuff. People want to see Winona Ryder come back. And I think that this movie is going to get people back to talking about Beetlejuice again. And hopefully that movie's really good, but we'll see. But the first one's a classic. If you like this character, if you like the character design, the head sculpt looks really good. The hair is a bit of a concern. The lack of accessories and the lack of, a base, like a diorama base, is a bit of a concern. But one that I still think you should be paying attention to on your potential pre-order list. We're going to step away from Sideshow a little bit. We got one more Sideshow we're going to talk about later on in the video, but we're going to step away from it for a little bit. And we're going to go to Hot Toys, and we're going to go back in time to Prey. If you haven't seen Prey, Really, really good movie that they brought out on Hulu. This is one that a lot of people were waiting for. They were, a lot of people I've heard were like, we need to get more Predator figures. Hot Toys used to make all these Predator figures. We haven't had one in a really long time. We finally have a new movie that we can base a figure off of. And this figure just looks really cool. I mean, this is a great, great figure from the prototype images. If you're a big Predator fan, I think that this is going to be really, really high on your list. It's not every day you get an opportunity to get a 6 scale Predator figure. This is really high on my list as well. Total transparency, I haven't even pre-ordered this one yet. I really probably need to get onto that. I really enjoyed Prey. I love the Predator films. Unmasked look right there. I just think this creature design, I guess you could say, is really, really well done. I think that this is one that they're going to put a lot of time into, a lot of good resources into, to make sure this one looks really well. Because again, just like I've said in my previous videos, and I'll link that up in the card, or I'll link it down in the description, where I talked about like 5 overlooked figures. It's the same thing I said about the Avatar figures. 20th Century Fox property. You might not get another chance to get this figure from Hot Toys. We'll see. Even though Disney bought out 20th Century Fox, it's still like, when the movie came out, it was part of that property. And I just think that it's ones that you really want to pay attention to, and ones that I think that down the line are going to be very coveted pieces. So definitely be looking out for this figure. I think it looks fantastic. I don't know about y'all, but this figure looks really good. The shield, just the different accessories it comes with. I mean, this looks so badass. This would go in an action movie shelf. This could go in a creature shelf. This could go into a horror shelf. I mean, look at this interchangeable stuff. I mean, this is the first time I've really looked at these pictures. I need to get on pre-ordering this one as well. So this video is helping me as well. Yeah, this figure looks phenomenal. So we're going to go over to another company. Again, that was Hot Toys. The first 2 were Sideshow. And we're going to go to another company, and that is Mondo Figures. This is their 6 scale McCready, Kurt Russell's McCready from The Thing, from John Carpenter's The Thing. A Universal property here. I think that this figure looks phenomenal. I've never bought a 6 scale Mondo figure. I am not sure about the quality. I know the price point is a bit of a concern for people, because a lot of people say they look good, but they're not superposable, this and that. I'm going to kind of get one for myself. This will be my first Mondo figure more than likely by the time it gets to me. This is one that I have to have in my collection. I love The Thing. I love Kurt Russell's portrayal of McCready. I'm going to really try to support as many 6 scale horror figures as we can get, especially if they're doing characters like this, where it's not just always, and I love these characters by the way, but it's not just always, Michael Myers, Ghostface, stuff like that. I want to see more characters from horror movies. I want to see more McCready's. I want to see more Ash from Evil Dead. I want to see just all these great characters. There's so many great characters in the horror genre that they could be making figures out of, 6 scale figures out of. So I'm really hoping for more of that. But I digress. This figure does look phenomenal. The head sculpt looks great. I think that the only thing with this figure I'm wondering is definitely the facial hair. When it comes out, is it going to look plasticky? Is it going to look like, is it going to capture that realism? Because Mondo's doing those X-Men animated series figures right now. And those figures, that they look like the cartoon, so it's hard to base off of those. How is Mondo going to capture this live action Kurt Russell? We'll see, but based on the prototype figures, I think they're going to be able to do it. It comes with a lot of accessories. Mondo had an exclusive version that had like a bunch of different accessories, like the dogs that were mutated and all that stuff. That was a timed release, but this standard release is still up for pre-order, and I just think this figure looks phenomenal. And I'm, again, if you're a big fan of The Thing, big fan of Kurt Russell, I think you're definitely needing to add this to your pre-order list. And finally, we're going to get to our last figure of the video, and it's going back to Sideshow, and it's David from The Lost Boys, Kiefer Sutherland. This movie still fits in the horror genre. I think it's like, it's obviously, it's so many genres, and I think that's what makes Lost Boys such a fun and rewatchable film, is because it's got horror, it's got comedy, it's got like a love story. It's almost like a teen movie, coming of age story. There's so many different genres, even in action, so many different genres within this movie, and I love this movie, and it's one that I can rewatch every year and just be happy with it. And this is what I was talking about when I want to see more characters like this. I would love to see more Lost Boys characters, but even if this is the one we get, as long as they do this one right, I'll be extremely happy. This one just looks really, really good. That head sculpt looks great. The tailoring on the outfit looks really good. You can kind of see this upside down. I won't scroll all the way, but you can see the feet right there. Looks really, really good. There's the different head sculpt. That one looks pretty good, but I personally just like the regular Kiefer Sutherland head sculpt there. Get a little bit more look at the feet there. That looks phenomenal, so you can display it like that if you would like. That looks good for photography purposes. And then, you know, again, this is just a really, really good figure. It comes with some cool accessories that have really big implications within the movie, and I love when they add important accessories and not just throw in accessories. So this is definitely a figure that I would be keeping my eye on. Bunch of different hands, takeout boxes, wine bottle, all this different stuff. The reason I wanted to put David on here is because I feel like this one's getting lost in the mix of, like, we've had the Pennywise announced by Sideshow. We've had the Beetlejuice announced by Sideshow. I don't want people to forget about this David figure, because I think this figure will be phenomenal. I really do. If Sideshow can get the body correct and it feels really good and the figure is well made, I think that Sideshow has stepped their game up. But everybody's hoping for that, but we are going to have to wait and see. And again, these figures right here are just 5 that a lot of people in the 6 scale community, you know, we talk about this a lot, but maybe you're somebody who just is you know, just getting into it like I was at one point, and you want to know, like, hey man, I really like collecting horror. Like, where's these figures at? These are 5 that I think you should pay attention to and potentially add to your pre-ordered list. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped you a little bit. Let me know in the comments if it did, of these 5, which one you're most excited, or which ones you may or already have pre-ordered. I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And again, if you haven't already, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you as a subscriber. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you might like it around here, so it would really be appreciative if you could show that support. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.